Cordero. We got rave reviews from her participation and demonstration last month. So she's going to come on here. So Marichu, if you'll join us now, and I know you've got some really cool things we want to share, and we're going to turn the time over to you to kind of walk through this demo and also tease a little bit of a promotion that we're launching today as well. So without further ado, it's Marichu.
Wow, that one just rolled off your tongue. That was great, Kevin. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here with my colleagues, Lilia, Kevin, Laura, Lupe, and I love doing this for you guys. And I'm so glad that you were able to join us today because I really wanted to just provide a little bit of some education and eventually lead into something that's very, very exciting. So happy fall. I am so excited about fall. For those of you who know me or don't know me, I'm also excited about football, both college and also professional. And many of you, I'm sure, are very excited about the festivities for the holidays. So my 3Fs, fall, football, and festivities, which I'm all very excited about. And for those of you who are new, I'm so glad that you're able to meet us today and be here and join us. One product that I really wanted to talk to you about is, because I'm a makeup maven, and it's going to be our Candescent Face Palette. So I have it here with me, and actually I've been able to try it for the very, very first time. And a lot of you who are like experts and pros when it comes to our color and our skincare, thank you for mentioning that we also have beauty. Aside from our dietary supplements, our shakes, our wonderful teas, we also have makeup. So those of you who are new to Sunrider, remember, we're all about health, wellness, and beauty. And the palette that I'm working with today, as you can see here, is the Black Sand Beach. I believe I said that right. Palette. Now we do have two palettes. One is called Sunset Rose, which is more for like the warmer tone skins or warm undertones. This one that I have in my hand has more of a cooler undertone. So when you're deciding or when you're doing your pop-up events and you do want to talk about color, really, really have your team and your prospects and your retail customers think about their undertones and their skin tones. Because one might be just for them or their skin tone, they could probably use both. So one is going to be more cool and one is going to be warm. And just looking at me, what do you think I am? It's always like, very tricky question because people automatically think I have a yellow or a warm tone. But when you see me in person, it's a little different. And then also, all our makeup, all our color, just so you know, is vegan, it's cruelty free, vegan free, it's clean ingredients. And that's what I love, especially with this clean movement that we have going on. So before I get started and actually demoing this for you, how do you determine which one's for you yourself? So, the best way that I've always educated my clients is to look at the color of their veins right on their wrist. So if you see blue quickly, immediately, then you're going to be a cool undertone. If you see green under your skin, you're going to be a warm undertone. But if you see a little bit of both, then guess what? You can use anything in Sunrider, which I love. So today I'm going to be demonstrating the Black Sand Beach palette. And as you can see here, for those of you who are especially new, it is a face palette. So it's for everything on your skin, for your eyes, your cheeks. You could do a little contouring with the lighter color. And that's called French Vanilla. So if you're following along with me, on this screen on my right is French Vanilla. And then we also have this beautiful blushing color, which is Georgia Blue. And then we have 3 options that you can do for your eyeshadow. This one here, I'm looking at my sheet, and this one's called Dreamy Ash. So it's got that taupey color to it. And then in the middle is Silver Smoke. And then the darker color that almost looks like black is Midnight Shadow. So also know, because they're all creamy, if you're getting ready to do your Halloween costume and your makeup, you can use these to get a little bit gory, if you will, or scary if you want to. And what I love about this face palette, it's portable. It's got everything I need just to keep my skin more clean, simple in color. I don't have to think about it. So that's what I love about our face palette. Now, the pigments, if you haven't been able to play with the pigments in our palettes, they are very intense and they're color rich. So you don't want to use a lot of the color. And that's why our palettes are going to last you. So, like everyone does say, the old adage, a dab will do you. Now, you can either use your brushes if you want to. I've got my set of brushes here with me. Or guess what? As long as you sanitize your hands, you can use your fingers. So if you're like me, on the go, I want to get out the door very quickly, but yet I do want to look, very presentable when I'm out there, because here in LA, you never know about the paparazzi or what celebrity you're going to be next to. So, I love to just add a little bit of color as I walk out the door. So like I said, this is a palette. It is versatile. You can use it all over your skin. So for example, on my more simple days, I will use the French vanilla all over my eye. And then I'll use Georgia Bloom, which is considered, by looking at it, you might think, oh, okay, that's a blush. Not always. You can use it on your eyelids if you just want a little bit of color, and then also use it on your cheeks just for simplicity. And then with the 3 colors of eyeshadow here, you can either dress it up or dress them down. You can use 2 colors. You can use all 3. You can use all of them as eyeliners. If you're just a brow, a mascara, and an eyeliner gal, you can use it for that as well. So I did one side of my skin, and I have my magnifying mirror here in front of me, my lighted mirror. And I'm going to demonstrate how to use this. So on my right side, I actually did one side of my skin. And I'm seeing some of the chats come through. Thanks, Cheryl. You're right. They are pigmented. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take an all over shadow brush, and I'm going to do a little dab of the French vanilla. And I'm going to just kind of sweep that really quickly over my entire eyelid. So if you all have your palettes in front of you, you can take a look at it, follow along, or if you haven't even done your makeup yet, you can do it with me. So I'm just taking a little bit of my French vanilla, and then I'm just going to sweep that real quickly over my entire eyelid. Pigment's nice. I like to focus the French vanilla right underneath my brow bone or on my brow bone rather, to accentuate the shape of my brows. So I just put on French vanilla. Now, I don't like to use a lot of makeup in terms of color. I really like soft. I really like very simple and delicate colors. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use the middle color, which is the Silver Smoke. And I'm going to do that right on the hollow of my eye. Now, as we go through a lot of training in the next year or so, we're going to talk about different eye shapes. Where do you place your colors, the dark, the contour, the highlighter color. This is very basic, because I know a lot of you who I've spoken to like to keep things really simple. And I know that you have very, very busy lives. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my shadow brush, and I'm going to go right into the middle color, which is the silver smoke. And I'm just going to do this right on the hollow of my eye. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can tell where the hollow of your eye is. And this is going to give you really that smoky look if you want it. Sometimes I'll bring the color towards my lash line on the top because I do want it to blend. It's all about blending and then finishing off. So I just did that right onto the hollow of my eye, and then I'm bringing it towards my lash line. And make sure you blend, 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 because you don't want to see where the color skips and where it stops. You want everything to blend as much as possible. So again, I use silver smoke. This is kind of like my go-to for every day. Then I'm going to reach for another basic brush that I like to get really close to my lash line on the top and then on the bottom. I use the darker color, and I would even use Midnight Shadow as an eyeliner. But today I'm going to use, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that because on my other eye, I used a different color. I used Dreamy Ash. But just for demonstration purposes, my husband's going to kill me because I'm going to probably walk around with two different eyeshadow looks. But I have a brush that hugs very, very close to my lash line. And it's very tight, so I can create a very nice, soft line with the Midnight Shadow. So I'm going to do that right now. And what I like to do first is start with a tap motion. This is my lash line, and then I blend it. And you can see that. Don't put too much color or else you won't be able to blend it as nicely. Most of the time I will line just on the top. When I'm going out, then I'll also line on the bottom of my lash line. So I'm going to do a tapping motion with the Midnight Shadow. I'm going to get really close to my lash line on the bottom. And again, I like to do a tapping motion so that way I could just blend this underneath my lashes and do a nice line with my brush. It's all about blending. And then, of course, I always make mistakes, or you get the powder that drops off onto your skin. So all you have to do is just take a cotton swab and then clean it up really nicely. And you can see how I did that. And then I'm going to blend and get my Midnight Shadow as my eyeliner. So I've got Midnight Shadow on this side, and I use a more softer look of Dreamy Ash as my eyeliner on my right side. So you would finish off the look with your, of course, mascara. Now I'm going to move on real quickly to Georgia Blue. I'm going to take my blush brush, tap, 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 because there's a lot of pigment. And then I am going to, what I like to do, which is a makeup artist trick, is I like to make an X on my cheek. So I'm going to make an X like this. And then I'm going to blend. I know a lot of us like to smile, or they say, go to the apple of your cheek. But when I do my X, it actually disperses and dispenses the color where I can really blend the blush across my cheek. So this one, everyone, is the Georgia Bloom, and it's a pink color. It's very cool. And I did tell you that you can also use these with your fingers. So if I wanted to do a little bit of pink on my eyelid, I can do that with Georgia Bloom. And just remember to use your Candescent Hand Cleansing Gel whenever you touch your skin. And I'm going to go ahead and do that because I want to demonstrate the French vanilla, another way of using French vanilla. I love our hand cleansing jar. I'm almost running out of it. Okay, so with the Georgia Bloom, I'm taking my sanitized finger and I'm just going to tap it, and then I'm going to just sweep it across my eyelid. And I'll do it on this side so that way you can see. You can see some of that pink. And I'm going to do it right on top of my contour color. And then I'm going to blend that with my finger. And my finger picked up a lot of color. Wow. So if you want a more sun-kissed look, like, you know, hey, I went to the beach, or you just came from the beach, but you really don't go to the beach because you love to protect your skin, just add a little bit of color onto your brow bone, your eyelid, and then you're going to look like, okay, you know, I don't look so tired. It's giving me a lift. You know, I feel good. I look good. Next, I'm going to show you how to use the French vanilla, because you can use that to help highlight, and you can also do some contouring. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to do the French vanilla on the top of my cheeks as a highlighter. So right on top of my Georgia Bloom. And this is part of contouring, and it's just on the top of my blush. Tap, 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 and then right again. And it's going to give me that kind of red carpet sheen on the cheeks. Because these are mineral. This is made of mineral. So you're going to pick up on traces of that nice sheen from the minerals. And then I always finish off, I like to dab a little bit on my forehead to help contour. Then I dab right onto the top of my nose. Now, key thing, everyone, is to blend, blend, blend. And then right on the top of the purse of my lips to give me that youthful glow. So as you can see, this is all very versatile. So when you're promoting the Candescent palette, make sure, you know, you can have fun with it. You can play with it. You can get really, really creative with it. So, you know, it's simple. It's clean beauty. And that's what we love about Sunrider. And remember, these come in two palettes of cool or warm. Now, whatever you put on, guess what, right? I don't want you to go to bed with your makeup on. I know you're going to look beautiful. Thanks, guys. I can't even see what I did on camera. I only can see on my magnifier here. But thank you. I feel good. Okay, I'm feeling good. Thank you. So we got to take off what we put on, right? Now, remember, we use a double cleanse method at Sunrider. Remember, I don't hear a lot of us talking about the method of double cleanse. Very, very important. So why do we do double cleanse? Well, we start the double cleanse with our cleansing oil, right? Because the cleansing oil is going to remove dirt, your sunblock, your SPF. It's going to remove excess sebum, excess oil, pollution, anything that's in the environment, in order for your cleanser of choice to work effectively. That's why at Sunrider, we do a double cleanse. So right now, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use our Candescent Pure cleansing oil, and I'm going to take off my makeup on the right side of my skin, because later I am going to do something special for you guys, which I haven't been able to do. So key thing, remember, all our products in Sunrider are concentrated, they're potent. So please don't use too much of your product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my, I'm gonna say maybe 1 or 2 pumps. Don't use too much. And then I'm gonna emulsify the cleansing oil. And I'm gonna take off one side of my makeup on one side of the skin. Okay. Now remember, just you want to be gentle, don't put too much pressure. Be careful around the eye area. You can use your cleansing oil to remove your makeup on your eye, to remove waterproof makeup, to remove waterproof mascara. Those are all, that's what's so great about cleansing oil. It's an oil. It's going to move everything, and then it's going to remove it. So as I'm taking this off, and especially if you want to do a quick change of your lipstick, it'll take off the lipstick as well. And then I'm going to go on my forehead. And I like, if I'm doing like a spa experience at home, because everything smells really good. When I'm really, really good and I am tired, I will go to the sink and I will wash my cleansing oil off. Otherwise, today I did use wet, really nice cold cotton cloths. And I'm going to follow up to remove what my cleansing oil left behind. So I'm going to remove this. And you'll see that I do have makeup on my skin. And it's going to remove it. Oh, that feels good already. It's so cooling. So I'm just using my cotton cloths here to remove one side of my skin. So I can show you the proper way if you're going to use cloths, or if you like the traditional way, you can do everything at the sink. Okay. Okay, now for our Sunrider surprise. This is what I love about Mondays, and I kind of think this is my mindful movement when it comes to my skin. So I do think of it as that. I want to talk to you about the facial tool. I know many of you have it, many of you who are new don't, but guess what? We have at Sunrider our own Gua Sha facial tool. So I know some of you or all of you received this at convention last year. Maybe it is still in your box because you're like, okay, I'm not quite sure how to use a Gua Sha facial tool. What are the benefits? Why would I want to use this? There are lots of tutorials online if you have the time to go through the tutorial and do kind of like a self-care moment with your Gua Sha facial tool. Now, this at Sunrider is a white jade, and typically the Gua Sha, any type of facial tools are made of gemstones or any kind of mineral, and they're safe for the skin. And you want to be very, very careful when you're using your Gua Sha tool because you don't want to apply too much pressure. So the benefits of your tool, and hopefully I can do an advanced tutorial for you because there are many things you can do with your Gua Sha. There is one for beginners, there's advanced, there's also Gua Sha for the body, especially when you're working with removing toxins and detoxifying and working with the lymphatic drainage system. But for our purpose today, I'm going to do just a couple of movements so you can see how properly, how carefully, how delicately I'm doing this. And the benefits is to detoxify. Give your skin that first glow in the morning. It's going to add vibrancy. It's going to slightly contour your skin. And it's also going to help ease a lot of tension and stress that shows up and we wear on our skin. Because you know when people say, you look tired. Well, any type of inflammation, anything that we're going through emotionally, physically, it's going to show up on our skin. And your Gua Sha facial tool is going to help with increasing circulation. It's going to help with giving you that more vibrant look to your skin, brighten your skin, and help tighten your skin. That is the purpose of this tool. And that's why we have it, because it is part of our beauty, our health, and our wellness portfolio. So, gua, what does that mean? That means, pressing on the skin, and the sha means any kind of rash or redness that it may produce, depending on the pressure that you put on your skin with the tool. Now, the first thing to note about doing gua sha, you could do it 2 to 3 times a week. You could do it every day. It's all about balancing the chi and the energy. I'm actually a Reiki level 1 certified practitioner. And so when I do my gua sha, it's all about that energy and letting it flow on your skin and making sure you're going against gravity. It is also helping with the lymph system and pulling away, drawing away all the toxins. So doing it 2 to 3 times a week is very healthy. If you're dedicated, do your gua sha. Do that, I would say, every day if you could. It only takes a couple of minutes. So it's an Eastern Asian type of tool and a way of helping to add and enhance your skincare line. And I just saw something come through in the chat about gua sha. And it did originate from Eastern medicine or East Asian medicine. So those are going to be the benefits. I do it every day. I like to keep it warm because it works with the body temperature anyway. If you're not doing any kind of movement, slipping, sliding, gliding, you can use it cool and then just use it as compresses against your skin. But when you're going to do those movements, it is more effective warm, okay? Also, it's going to be important, and for your safety, and to ensure you're using it properly, is it's going to need a slip, product from any slip, whether you do this after you put on your moisturizer, whether you do this after you put on your SPF. I like to do it, guess what? Because I love our Candescent Pure cleansing oil. I use our cleansing oil as the facial massage oil because I love to do self-massage on my skin. And so I'm going to use this instead. You can also use serums. You can also use any residual from masking, any of our masks. But for now, I'm going to do the cleansing oil. And when I do this with my Gua Sha facial tool, I'm only going to use, because I'm doing one side of my skin, I'm going to do a little pump of my Candescent Pure cleansing oil. And I'm just compressing. I love compressing because when you're compressing, you're also helping to move toxins. And oh, I'm seeing chats come through. I know, I do love the Sunrider logo too. So I'm just going to make sure that I do my compresses. And I'm going to demonstrate 2 movements. Now, your Gua Sha facial tool from Sunrider. There are specific directions, and there's a great tutorial on, different ways and suggestions of how to use it. What is it that you want to focus on? Is it your smile lines? Is it your forehead? Because this is where we get the 11s. Is it under the eyes to help depuff? Is it your nasolabial lines? Those marionette lines? Because as we get older, we do get that. But follow the tutorial on the back of the box. It's going to help guide you. But what's important is to make sure you have that slip and that slide. So what I'm going to do, I think the real common concern is I'm going to go ahead and do right here where I've got my smile lines, and I'm going to demonstrate on the forehead. Now, when you do your Gua Sha, it's always at a 15-degree angle, and you want to be as flat as possible. For those of you who are right hand, you're going to use your left hand for support. So when I'm doing Gua Sha methods, I'm going to use 2 fingers for support, And since I'm doing my nasal, labial, or marionette lines across my skin, I'm going to use the 2 fingers at the side of my nose. And that's going to provide support. And you can see that I'm actually positioning my tool where I want it to go. And then I'm going to do 5 passes, 5 reps. Some of you might only want to do 3. I like to do 5. That's kind of pretty standard. And then I'm going to lay it as flat as possible. And I'm going to go towards my ear, shimmy it a little bit. And I'm going to do 5 passes, 15-degree angle. Here's the 3rd pass, shimmy it. I'm getting lots of questions through the chat. That's great. I think Natasha, I did see your question. Yes, you can use it on your body as well. You might need to apply more pressure because the skin on your body is a lot more thicker. So good question, Tim. Pressure on the skin. Skin is your face is the thinnest. So you want to be very delicate, light-handed. Let the tool do the work for you. Now, when you're doing your body, you want to add a little bit more pressure because the skin on your body is thicker, okay? But you don't want to look red. Some people might look red. Now, that could be a good thing because you are increasing the circulation in that area. But I don't want to see a rash. I want to see the redness, but I don't want to see the rash, okay? So that is for my contouring of my nasal, labial, marionette lines, using it as flat as possible. And then right on my forehead, where all of us are concerned about those 11s, you know, I'm going to use my 2 fingers again, bring it down to the middle of my nose, between my brow area and my nose, and bring it right here in the middle. And then I'm going to do my Gua Sha tool in the middle. You could also do this on the side. It's always upward, outward. It is never back and forth because you don't want to move that lymph back. You want to move against gravity, and you want to make sure that lymph, because your lymph is going to travel right underneath your ear area. So what I'm doing is I'm positioning the longer end of my Gua Sha, and I'm just going to go up. Remember, keeping it as flat as possible. We don't want it at a 45-degree angle. We want it at a 15-degree angle. And we're going to go up 5 passes. I wish I could have spa music when I'm doing this. I should ask my colleagues. Next time, let's add spa music. 5 passes. Gentle, light-handed, let the tool do the work for you. And this is going to help with lines and wrinkles on the forehead. And then you can also go to the right, again, the long side, and then you can also go to the left, always using the long side, okay? So, demonstrated the Candescent Face Palette. You know all about that. And we talked about the cleansing oil, the importance. And then now you know how to use a little bit about the Gua Sha tool. So I'm going to turn it to Kevin, and he can share some great news with you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Marichu. That was amazing. Thank you again for sharing your wonderful expertise with us today. And we're not going to let people leave without this fantastic promotion because you did such a great job. So we are going to sell, yes, buy one incandescent face palette, either shade, and one Sunrider Gua Sha stone. This fantastic massage facial tool. You buy those together, we're going to throw in that Condescent Pure cleansing oil for free. So how does that sound? So it's really great. This is in the US, Canada. We're going to do something a little bit differently. It's all based on what we have available in each of those markets, but definitely want to take advantage of this here in the US. Get the Condescent face palette if you haven't, and the Sunrider Gua Sha stone. We don't sell those typically. Those are only available at very special events. We're going to sell them now. We want to put these two together to give you this fantastic cleansing oil. And as you saw Marichu do, you can combine them for this great Gua Sha stone treatment. There's also things you can do to remove your cosmetics. So definitely take advantage of that. It's going to run until October 25th. So you have some time. We have some great products to make available in Canada. I'm going to work for some special with you, especially when I come up there in October. So definitely take advantage of that. I think it's going to be fantastic. And also just want to let those know we got a second palette order in Canada recently. So there's hopefully some more